2 weeks shy of 8 years ago, I introduced the Long Dark for the first time on the channel, and I dove, equipped with my trusty, terrible headset mic and my boyish enthusiasm for survival, into my first ever Stalker run, and I came up with a series name on the fly. 7 seasons, not counting challenges, Interloper runs and updates, more than 750 episodes in total, and more than 1,000 hours of gameplay later, I think it stuck. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here, and today, as the 8-year anniversary of the series approaches, we're going to return to where it all began. Asterisk. Welcome to Season 0 of the Against All Odds series in Hinterland Studios' The Long Dark. Season 7 just wrapped up, unexpectedly I have to say, and you might have just noticed I did not say welcome to Season 8 just now. What's up with that, you might ask? Well, thanks to the constant growth of the content creation space, the increasing veterancy of the game's excellent community, to say nothing of the ever harder gameplay modes and community challenges, a lot of Long Dark content, and my content is no exception, has leaned heavily on a constantly cranking sense of challenge and struggle as the chief metric for entertainment value. Human nature, I suppose. It's a survival game after all. There's a reason my hallmark Long Dark content carries the series title that it does. But the Long Dark is more than that, isn't it? We haven't played this game for close to 10 years just because it stresses us out and pushes us to our limits. No, we've also played this game for close to 10 years because it's nothing short of a work of art. Because it's kind of really beautiful. So this series is a toast to the lonesome joy of not merely surviving, but exploring Great Bear Island's many territories, both the near and the far. As with the most recent seasons, Season 0 is a custom run, but one that's tuned to privilege exploration and discovery, with a surprise or two baked in. Drawing from a healthy mixture of Interloper, Stalker, and even a few Voyager settings, Season 0 also features an even wider array of settings unused by any standard difficulty mode. Let's quickly break it down as we always do, and then we'll play. If this is your first time seeing my custom settings breakdown, here's what you need to know. First, each section header has a one-line summary of what's different relative to recent codes. For example, you can see that our game start settings are mainly easier relative to Against All Odds Season 5 through 7, but as you can tell from the custom column on the far right, they're mostly unchanged. I'll explain more of that in just a moment. The red and green boxes are a table that breaks down the available options for each setting. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see what all of the possibilities are for each setting, simply for your reference. The columns on the right-hand side of the screen that are filled with a blue to red gradient show the default setting for each option per vanilla difficulty mode. Every single option in the custom mode is listed here. If the colors are difficult to distinguish, by the way, you can refer to the wording in each cell to compare the custom column to each vanilla difficulty. The custom column on the far right shows the settings the series will use, color-coded to match the correct section of the gradient. You can look at the gradient fills of each cell in the custom column and, taking them kind of one section at a time, get a sense for which difficulty modes options are best represented in that section. Custom column cells with a dark background use a setting common to all difficulties. For example, Survivor Monologue at the bottom of Game Start. It's yes in every single setting, so I haven't changed that, therefore there's no fill at all. And cells with a green glow use a setting none of the vanilla difficulty modes use, and you're going to see more of that in this series than we've ever done before. Any item marked with an asterisk has changed since Against All Odds Season 7, either going up or down. So, let's go ahead and get started, just kind of going one section at a time. Game start-wise, we are kind of shifting back to a Stalker start. The big change here is that we're using medium baseline resource availability. Those of you familiar with that know that that means you will have access to the knife, you'll have access to the hatchet. Tools will spawn in the world. You don't have to make your own. Also, some of the best clothing items in the game will now spawn in the world. Not very frequently, they'll be hard to find, but they're available if I'm able to find them, which is a big if. But we have the entire world to explore, and they now are, once again, within my grasp. The environment is still mostly unchanged, but there are two big differences relative to Against All Odds Season 7. The first is that we've actually reduced the weather variability all the way back to a Voyager level, so there's going to be a little bit less weather chaos. We're still going to have a high frequency of blizzards, which is Stalker level, but beyond that, there's not going to be a lot of wild changes in the weather that constantly force me to go in different directions. That's to facilitate exploration and more of an enjoyment of the world. The weather's still there. We're still going to have the sights and sounds of the weather and the challenge that the weather presents, but it's not going to shift things up quite as much in the way that a high-level Stalker or Interloper playthrough would necessarily do. Notice, however, that I have set the Aurora frequency to high. That is higher than any baseline difficulty setting, so we will have Auroras much more frequently, which includes Aurora Wolves and Aurora Bears, and when you see what I've done to the Wolves in this particular playthrough, you'll understand why that's potentially a problem. Anyway, I digress. We'll get to that in a minute. When we look at health, this is mostly Interloper with a few things that lean a little bit more Stalker-esque. For example, thirst rate and freezing rate are using the Stalker default. And then the condition recovery rate is still set to low. This is what it was set to in Against All Odds Season 7. Hasn't changed. Also, I really did toy with the idea of turning Cabin Fever on. I don't like Cabin Fever. It annoys me. I'm a very mobile player to begin with, so when I want to settle down, I kind of want to be able to settle down for the period of time that I prefer to settle down before I get moving again. And the mechanic gets in my way more often than it actually makes me feel like I'm enjoying that part of the game. So, that's the long and short of it. I thought about it, but no. Just no. No Cabin Fever. So we're going to go down to gear, and notice that this is probably one of the most changed sections, as you can tell from all of the markings on the side. So we have mostly a Stalker kind of average, but item decay rate is medium, which is Voyager level. Stick, branch, and stone spawn frequency is high, which is Voyager level. And then one of the most exciting changes is we have brought the rifle back, which I'm also likely to do for Against All Odds Season 8, if I'm being completely honest, but we've definitely brought it back for this because there's a part of this that's a tribute to the original Against All Odds series and the first several seasons, all of which feature the rifle pretty prominently. Against All Odds Season 7 is really the only one in recent memory, if not the only one ever, that didn't have the rifle. So we're bringing the rifle back in style. We, of course, still have the revolver. Harvestable plant availability has been tuned up to medium, hence the more cattails in the thumbnail, but it's still, notice, different from any other difficulty setting in the game. It's still going to be less than Interloper, less than Stalker, less than Voyager, less than Pilgrim. So more cattails, but at the same time, fewer than you would find in any of the standard difficulty modes. Now, in terms of wildlife spawns, we've got a mostly, well, this is really a mix between Stalker and Interloper. You can kind of tell from the color codes which is which. Notice that we have a high time to wildlife respawn, so that's the same as it was in Against All Odds Season 7. Here's a big change that I've made, though. Never messed with this before, but I thought I would spice things up, especially given that we have kind of Stalker-level wolves here. Notice that wolf spawn distance is set to close. So what that means is that they're more likely to catch me unaware as I step into a new environment. If I open a door and leave, for example, the camp office in Mystery Lake, the likelihood that a wolf might be right outside as I do that and jump me is going to be higher. And they might not jump me right away, but the chances that they'll be right around the corner and I really need to stay on my toes, those chances are going to be higher. In terms of wildlife behavior, everything is mostly the same here. This is very Interloper level, but I have, honestly, as you can see in the header, for science, I've reduced Timberwolf morale to medium. Honestly, just to kind of see what would happen, because that's a lot of the feel for this series is kind of going to come down to let's see what we can find out about the game that we really haven't had a chance to explore given the level of difficulty that I've typically played on in the past. And last but not least, wildlife struggle settings are pretty straightforward. They're mostly, well, really they're a mix between Stalker and Interloper, with struggle condition damage being set to low. So that is somewhere between Stalker and Interloper in terms of its settings. So really a very firm mixture in terms of the strength of the wolves as they attack. But mind you, the population of wolves is going to be Stalker level. That's what it's set to in this particular playthrough. So when we look at the wolf spawn chance, we've got very high. So we have Stalker level wolves and frequent Auroras. Now you know why the wolf is in the thumbnail. If you would like to run your own custom sandbox, either alongside mine, or if you just want to have your own run and do your own thing with these custom settings, this is the code that you can use. FYI, well, it's in the description below, but if you're looking at it, that is an uppercase I, the second to last character before the F at the end there. That's not a lowercase L. The font that Hinterland uses for these can sometimes make that a little bit hard to distinguish. That is, in fact, an uppercase I in the final bracket there. So let's confirm that. And you might be wondering, Hadrian, what are you going to do as far as your start location for this series, given that the difficulty has been scaled back relative to the season that just ended? What different decision might you make here? We've done tons of starts over the years in Lower Great Bear in various locations. We started Against All Odds Season 7 in Coastal Highway, interestingly enough. We're going to start this one. Going to be a little bit deja vu for those of you who've been watching regularly and who have been following along with Season 7 around the time that this series is starting. But we're going to go with Forsaken Airfield as the starting zone. And the reason for that is it will just provide a little bit more of a challenge, given that we do have the difficulty scaled back. And I also kind of like the idea of starting with Signal Void available to me. I mean, because we're going to be playing on this difficulty level, we are going to be focused more on exploring and just sort of going where we want, when we want. We won't really be forced in as many directions. So kind of having the ability to do Signal Void stuff when I feel like it from the get-go is pretty appealing. Also, on top of that, I like the idea of starting in Forsaken Airfield and just traveling the gauntlet into Broken Railroad and Great Bear proper that you have to travel if you want to make it to the rest of the zones. So we're going to start in Forsaken Airfield. Also, this series is likely to still be running when the next zone drops, which is going to be an open air mine in the Far Territory. So kind of returning to explore that zone, which we were originally going to explore, hoping we would explore in Season 7, is something that we can do as well. And I like the idea of starting, heading into Great Bear and tooling around in there for a while and making our way back when it's time to explore the new zone when that drops. Let's go ahead and confirm. We are, of course, going to let Jennifer take the reins. No feats. Still haven't unlocked any more whatsoever. This is AAO Season 0. Will it give me a long quote? That's the question. It will put that tooltip on the loading screen and not take it down like it should, but that's okay. Also, I should probably press a key. I should probably do that instead of just sitting here talking. It's hard to adapt to chaos, but it can be done. I'm living proof of that. It can be done. Kurt Vonnegut, Breakfast of Champions. So here we are. Looks like the beginning of the day. The airfield is before us. We're in a cave. Got some coal. Hey, that's handy. Deja vu all over again, as the saying goes. Bedroll right off the bat. Not bad. Painkillers. Summit soda. Antiseptic. Bandage. Bedroll. Let's have a look around. We're pretty cold, so I'm going to have to make my way down to that airfield quickly. Now, of course, there is the threat of a wolf. I know this for a fact because of my recent visits to this zone, especially given that the wolf population is increased. There are kind of stalker level wolves present in this code. I'm painfully aware of that. So there's no grace period right now. I'm not playing with a grace period. So the possibility of a wolf is very real. And I'm going to have to be mindful of that going forward. Not only the possibility of a wolf, but frankly, the possibility of multiple wolves. Those of you who were watching when Season 7 kicked off, you're painfully aware, as I am, of the fact that I kept bringing up, that I had been in Forsaken Airfield earlier in the year, playing off the channel in one of my few visits to this zone so far. By the way, this is genuinely one of my favorite zones in the Long Dark after my recent visit to it. But I just remembered, seeing a wolf near the airfield. And I was kind of surprised when there wasn't one. Well, this is me rebalancing the scales of destiny. Or at least trying to, maybe. Not going to force it too hard. The really lovely thing about this situation is that even though we're starting in a fairly difficult, challenging zone, that'll make it difficult. Hypothermia and frostbite risk already. That's fun. Even though we're starting in a more challenging zone, we're playing in such a way that will give us the ability to sort of travel in any direction we would like once we've made our way out of this zone. So there are lots of locations in Forsaken Airfield I can visit. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet because this was kind of an impulsive thing. Once I had the series intro kind of ready and I was getting ready to sit down and record, I thought to myself, you know, I could start in Forsaken Airfield. It just sort of dawned on me that that was an option. Hadn't thought about it until I was really sitting down to start this recording. I suppose I could sprint. Nothing stopping me from running. Don't need to lose more condition than is necessary. So now we have frostbite risk on both my head and my hands. So yeah, I'm going to sprint. So I really haven't made up my mind with regard to where am I going to go. Like, do I want to fully explore all of Forsaken Airfield? Because, to be honest, one of the reasons I'm talking about this right now as I kick off the episode, it's for the sake of my live audience. For those of you who've been watching on the daily and who were watching recently, you've just seen me tool all around Forsaken Airfield. Now, I could do it again. I could do some of it again, which I might. But there's obvious reason for me to think about, you know, maybe I don't need to revisit the whole place right now. Maybe revisit some of the key loot locations that are accessible to me so that I can have some gear with which to traverse that gauntlet I mentioned back in the Graveyard proper. But beyond that, you know, I don't necessarily need to linger. Let's step inside. Thankfully, it is the beginning of the day. Lucky start there. Alright, so I'm still cold. That's kind of a problem. I didn't pick up any extra clothes yet, but I imagine I'm about to find some. So let's see what we can do to right that particular situation. Here's a book. Don't have any means to light the area, so I'm going to have to really keep my eyes peeled. There's some dog food. That's nice, I suppose, but right now I don't think that slathering wet dog food... There's a stem. That would have been nice in another life. Rest in peace, Season 7 Jennifer. I don't think that slathering dog food all over is going to actually warm me up at all. Maybe it would. You know, maybe I'm being closed-minded, but somehow I think that is not going to work particularly well. I need to be mindful of the frostbite risk, though. Okay, I need to move faster. One thing I might be able to do is make some... Alright, hang on. Frostbite risk is a real problem. I might be able to make some improvised gear, but this is actually kind of a spicy beginning. Let's see if maybe, just maybe... Actually, hold on. There are a couple of possibilities here. No. What if I... Nice. Fire log. I don't have any matches. That's one of the issues that I'm facing at the moment. Or, actually, I think maybe I do. No, I definitely do not. Okay, so I won't be able to see anything in the basement. Frostbite risk is not as bad as it could be, but I need to focus on grabbing... I am clearly wearing Jennifer out. I need to focus on finding clothes. There we go. New simple parka. Put that on. Okay, that wasn't enough. How close are we? Still need several degrees of clothing. This is a cold zone, by the way. So starting here is definitely going to make it spicy. I could, with some of the cloth that I've seen around, I could go ahead and find, or potentially make some headgear and some gloves. One of the things I'm trying to remain aware of is that I'm no longer, you know, the... Let's not say nigh invincible, but, like, I'm no longer the character that I've been playing as. So I don't have any skills built up. This is a new season. This is one of the things that it's kind of good to be aware of, as we all know. When you're starting a fresh run on the heels of another. very easy to kind of live by force of habit and forget. Flight jacket. Nice. I haven't actually obtained that item yet. So the flight jacket is a better item to wear on the outside. That's a first. Literally have not picked that up in the Long Dark before, so that's pretty fun. I still need more clothing, though. Thankfully, there's still plenty to search.
Wait. I'm so cold, I'm warming up a bit.
No, you most definitely are not. Fire log. All right, so we're finding... I have plenty of stuff to, you know, make fire with. There's a sewing kit. Okay. Progress. New down vest. All right, get in there. Okay, so new down vest is actually not going to do me much good. I might be able to use... Did I just see search hatch? Is it letting me search the hatch from outside the helicopter? That's hilarious. It's letting me search the skid from outside of the helicopter. That is ridiculous. Alright, some driving gloves. Nice. So you can probably tell that I was starting to get a little panicky there because there was this realization of, you know, I did just decide to start in Forsaken Airfield. And this could go badly very quickly. I would hate to have frostbite for the rest of this series. Speaking of that, let's keep a very close eye on it. Alright, orange soda. But I'm already starting to feel a little bit better now that I've found a few items, especially that parka. Did also find that mountaineering rope a moment ago.
If I don't warm up soon.
I am working on it. Hold your horses, and I'll see what I can do. Hold your horses that you love so much. There's a flashlight. Nice. Alright, there's probably not, I would imagine, going to be a lot of clothes in this area, so ragged fleece mittens, that is an improvement. Actually, it's not an improvement, but I've got a better pair of driving gloves there that I just picked up. Stack of papers, very nice. Interesting loot table so far. I know that I'm going to find more than I found in Season 7, for sure, but I'm already noticing that it's still pretty meager. Okay, been in there. Haven't been in here. Just one more, like one or two more, especially if we found some pants. That would be ideal. There's some cured leather laying around. That's good. The sewing kit that I have will help me repair some of the items I'm wearing, rather than just requiring me to continue to find things. So I can do that in a moment. Matter of fact, how close am I? You know what? Hang on. Let's take a good look at this. Of the things that I'm wearing, if I were to take an hour to repair, this would take 30 minutes to repair, but it requires cloth, so I need to go back to the showers that I've already investigated. Okay, I'm getting pretty spicy here because we need to warm up. I might need to just make those improvised clothing items, but I think I need the cloth from the showers. Nice, pry bar. Okay, that's a good early find. Painkillers. If I could potentially find a lantern, that would be great. All right, I know I've been in here already, but I want to double check because when I poked my head in the first time, I was a little panicky. And now I'm less panicky. Check these hatches. Newsprint. Fleece mittens. Several pairs of fleece mittens already. Of course, when I get into the cockpits of these various... Oh, there's some cloth.
Freezing.
When I get into the cockpits of these vehicles, that's a little bit better, temperature-wise. Like, I could sit and do some work. So that is one option that I have for making some of the things I need to make. But before I do that, I think I want to go ahead...
I'm
Yeah,
freezing.
better check that. Let's go upstairs. I want to go ahead and get the cloth that I need. That's going to take, 24 minutes. I don't know if I want to take that much time. I don't want to take that much time. All right, I've already been in here. Let's keep going. I've already mainly rated up the side, but here we go. 10 minutes here. That's frankly more time than I want to spend, but that was the cloth that I needed. Let's go ahead and grab that water as well. Alright, not seeing any more clothing items, but let's be thorough because we are on a better loot table. Alright, nothing. There's more water to be found here for sure. Not just any grape soda, Stacy's grape soda. Haven't been able to use that meme in a while.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Can opener. Recipe. Revolver cartridge. How we doing? Alright. I think I'm going to need to get in cover sooner than later. Already down about 50% life, so I need to be... I think the most important thing right now is that I haven't found any matches. As much as I'm talking about this being an easier run, this could go sideways really quickly if I don't stay nimble. Okay. Let's see. Checked all of those. Did I check the side hatch here? I think I did. I did. Okay. Let's go back upstairs. I need to check this other side. I really wish I could go down to the basement, but I don't have a lantern yet to speak of. Some coffee. Okay, hypothermia risk is starting to climb. It's less than ideal. As long as I time my activities correctly, it should be fine. Alright. Pretty encumbered at this point, mainly thanks to... Oh, look, there's some rifle ammo. I'll take it. And a flare that I can barely reach. There we go. Okay, lockers. This is probably going to be my best bet for some nicer clothing right now that won't require me to make anything. Firearm cleaning kit and a water bottle. Okay, that's, again, less than ideal. Can you give me things that are wearable? Apparently not. This is one of the most loot-dense locations in the zone. I was counting on you to not make this difficult for me. You clearly weren't listening. That's thoroughly creepy. Thank you for that. Appreciate it so much. Alright. Still have a few other locations to visit. We're not completely... The hypothermia risk is honestly the biggest problem at this point. Worn trail boots. That is potentially good, but right now it's not much better than what I'm wearing. So that's not good. Matches. There we go. So you know what I'm going to do with that. That is the solution I was looking for. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go straight downstairs. Because this is one spot Let's open the door. We have a flare too, so that's handy. Honestly, the flare is all I needed. You can tell I'm not used to actually having flares to spare, because that didn't even occur to me that I could use the flare to light my way to the basement. But the main thing I want to... Ow. Here, we'll use the flare. Why not? Main thing I want to reach is right here. We've got some coal sitting around it.
Carry this load for much longer.
Some cloth on the ground. Let's go ahead and start up the forge. Use the lit flare. Save a match. Not that it matters too much. One of the really interesting aspects of doing this series in this way is I'm going to need to remember kind of the options that I have available to me, which is part of the reason I wanted to do it. Since there's not going to be as much of a focus on, like, intense survival needs and constantly needing to keep an eye on all of my meters and so forth. One very interesting aspect of this... Hang on. I want this thing to be nice and hot. Let's put a fire log on there. And let's put another piece of coal on there. Just so we definitely don't have to worry about any of this stuff for the foreseeable future. But yeah, one thing I definitely don't want to happen is I don't want to find myself, like, treating this as though we're still on Interloper-like settings out of habit. And literally making it harder on myself by extension. Alright, there's the heavy hammer. I need to go ahead and drop that in front of the forge. And I probably need to drop some other stuff as well, although there's a certain appeal to wearing myself out at the moment, if I'm being completely honest. Alright, I've already picked up a lot of extra stuff. So let's go ahead... A couple things. Drop the mountaineering rope. Drop one of the flashlights. Drop two of those. Drop the spray paint. Just out of sheer spite. Drink some water. And then we should be better for a bit. Okay, you can already see the frostbite risk and hypothermia risk going down. So that's quite positive. Potato sack. This flare is going to last me a good while. There's some more cloth. So now I should definitely be able to make what I need to make in order to stay a little bit warmer. And there's, of course, still plenty of looting to be done. So here's a bed. Okay. That's more or less everything here. Another piece of coal. I've got plenty of food, which I will start consuming in just a moment. Aha, there's a memo. Nothing in the crates. Don't see anything on the floor. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some repair, shall we? We've got a couple of sewing kits. We've averted disaster there. Frostbite risk is starting to go away. So, how long do we have on the fire? 4 hours, 39 minutes? That's not bad at all. Alright, first of all, let's make sure I'm wearing everything I can possibly be wearing. Looks like I am. Picked up that pair of fleece mittens. It's still not as good as the driving gloves that I'm wearing, which is ironic. But I think I want to start with... By the way, can we just appreciate that this simple parka was 100%? It's 1,000% condition right away. Because that's pretty nice. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and repair this flight jacket and hopefully not waste that cured leather. Frostbite risk just went away. Nice. So that repair went through. Now we're at 90%. Let's go ahead and repair the shirt. Already down to 50% life. Fantastic start. Doesn't get better. I mean, I brought this upon myself. We can all agree.
I'm gonna need to eat soon.
This is a trap that I made for myself. And I walked right into it. Okay, so pants are actually in good shape. Definitely need... Alright, got an hour and 32 minutes. It is time to make an improvised head wrap, but I am down one piece of cloth that I would need for that head wrap. So let's do a couple things. Main thing I need to do right now, let's go ahead and eat some ketchup chips before the condition on those becomes any more problematic. Drink some orange soda. Of course, the Stacy's grape soda is 94% condition, and all the rest of the sodas I found are crap. Okay. I need to sleep a good bit. But what I need to do even before that is finish looking around. Not necessarily finish looking around this building, but there are other buildings nearby that I need to visit. And as treacherous as the weather outside is likely to be, and as much as we have increased Aurora frequencies to worry about and all of that, honestly, truly and honestly, my biggest concerns are with not having what I need to sort of rest comfortably through the night without a fire, which I should be fine now, but I'm going to do everything I can to find everything I need sooner rather than later. Also, I do need to remember that the wolf spawn setting for this code, as we saw earlier, might make things a little bit spicier, especially in a situation like this where there can be wolves somewhat near the hangar, but we're not exactly sure where they are or if they're there, as we have talked about extensively. Book. Antibiotics. I'm so much calmer now. Nice, decent cotton tube. That's what I was hoping to find. I did a little bit of searching. Honestly, the game made me fight for it, given how much there is to loot. Okay. Check the skid, check the hatch, let's check the cockpit. Yeah, there's just the possibility that a wolf could be a lot closer at any given time. That's enough to give me pause. Okay. Get it? Pause. I'm sorry. I won't do that again. Okay. Let's see. Oh, nice. New hoodie. Honestly, I couldn't tell that that was a hoodie when I picked it up. That was weird. Alright, so we just found a second toque, though. Something was off about the appearance of that particular item. I'm not going to worry about it, though. Now I'm feeling a lot more confident in my warmth. I want to rest and regain some condition overnight. But I still want to keep searching while I can. New wool toque. Even better. Gimme that. Alright, so now I'm in better shape. I can explore with a bit more confidence. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna explore all of this place right now. There are some places I can go before I leave. I might follow the road up to the cabin, the one that I recently found in the Glimmer Fog. That might be one location kind of worth visiting. But I don't know that I'm gonna go all the way to the island. I think I can probably save that for later, for like my next visit in this series. I think that's one of the biggest adjustments, in a good way, as long as I pay attention to it. It's one of the biggest adjustments I will need to make. Because I actually don't have as much of an impetus to go everywhere and loot everything in order to survive. I can explore. I can go, as I said a moment ago, or not quite a moment ago, but a few moments ago. I can go where I want, when I want, with a bit more impunity. Not a ton of impunity. I need to be careful. This is still kind of Stalker-esque. But I can do that. Let's check this hatch. There's some scrap lead there. Any scrap lead in the other container? Nope. Aviator cap. Nice. We found all the things. First try. Although, right now the condition of that is not really worth putting it on. That's fine. Replacement fuse. Okay. I'm still pretty freaking cold and I'm getting tired. So here's what I've got to do. Also need to bear in mind that I don't have anything that I could use at the moment to fight a wolf. So if a wolf were to jump me, especially given the fact that I've set the closeness of their spawns to be a little bit spicier, that could hurt. It could hurt a lot. Thankfully, I have some clothing now to protect me. Not just any grape soda. That's 2 in 1 episode. Ragged jeans. Heck yeah, let's go. I'll go ahead and put the ragged ones on the outer layer. Just prepping for that eventual wolf attack, which we know will happen. I just hopped in the cockpit, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I've honestly been in so many vehicles in just the past couple of minutes. It's like, wait, was that this one? Okay. Now this is a spot. Hello? Thank you for blocking me in so beautifully there. This is a spot where I might hit the jackpot, clothing-wise. Let's see how this goes. Or, you know, I could just get a bunch of books. It's fine. Reading material is nice in the apocalypse. Nice. Cargo pants. Poor condition cargo pants, but cargo pants nevertheless. Alright, finding lots of stuff.
I'll take it.
Can we just go ahead and start a running count of the number of fleece mittens I've found in the first episode? Jesus. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. Okay, I see some other stuff over here. Nice. Energy bar. Oh, man. I missed you, energy bars. I missed you so much. Those don't spawn on the loot settings we've been using.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
In case you were wondering where those went, they didn't go anywhere. They literally haven't existed for a while. All right, this water is going to create a problem. All right, there's a slight issue with my current situation. I am officially, like, carrying way too much stuff, and I've got to make it back. I'm also getting tired. Hi, bunny. Multiple bunnies. But since I'm so close to this tower, I think it would be remiss of me not to just go ahead and stumble into this tower, especially since I do have a bedroll, so if I need to stop and, like, sleep somewhere, I could.
I need to find some place to escape this cold.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm already weighed down. This is such a bad sign. I will do some inventory management, like, every single episode, I promise. I'm going to have to. It's not even, a question of wanting to. Or habit. Like, I will have to if I want to live. It's just a fact. Alright, so, hang on. Let's check a couple of things. First of all, let's step in here. What's the temperature like in here? Not that great. Nothing here. Okay. Let's close that up. How's the temperature in here? Not much better. Alright, there's... Alright. Finding some flare shells. Haven't found a flare gun, though. Some wood matches. Okay, that's good. Decent amount of stuff to loot here. Oh my god. Another pair of fleece mittens. Another wool toque. Okay, that is a plus. Pinnacle peaches. Ugh. It's like one of the few times I think I've been sad to find pinnacle peaches in the long dark. They're heavy, okay? Like, I'm happy I have them. But they're heavy. Okay. Nothing in the microwave. Magnifying lens on the desk. Let's not miss that. Important item. I'd say there's a reasonable probability of a flare gun. Did I check that container? I did. I'd say there's a reasonable probability of a flare gun up in the top of the tower, wouldn't you say? On these loot tables? I mean, probably. Again, I'm walking around this encumbered on purpose right now. I want to be tired. Because I need to sleep a lot and recover some condition. I want to be tired. Okay? I just need to be mindful of the fact that I can't really do this forever. Thankfully, my hypothermia and frostbite risks are completely gone. Alright, signal void hype. First and foremost, let's go ahead and grab a few things up here. I think I saw, yep, called it. Distress pistol, flare shells, decent fleece mittens. I think that's the nicest pair I've picked up, to be honest. Save it for the top of the tower. Appreciate that. Alright, Forlorn Muskeg, Mystery Lake, and Milton. We're leaving! Can't stand the lights any longer. No sleep, just no sleep. We're walking out of here. Hope you made it. I hope I make it. Good lord. Okay. Alright, so I'm not going to trudge all the way back this encumbered. It doesn't make sense. If a wolf were to catch me, I would be in a lot of trouble. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and sort by weight. A couple of things first. I will drop those 2 items. Also, am I wearing all the clothing I could possibly be wearing? I probably am. Let's make sure. Okay. Those leather shoes are actually better than the other ones, interestingly enough. Okay. Yeah. I'm wearing everything I can be wearing. So first of all, let's go ahead and drink some of that water. That is a lot of water. It's a lot. All right, we're going to go category by category. We're going to drop the books. I don't need those. Try and hold on to the stuff I've picked up that's burnable, but I'm going to drop some of that paper. That's not too bad at the moment. Okay. Honestly, I'm just gonna drop a fair amount of this stuff. I realize I can get a lot of cloth from it, and I might come back and pick it up. before I leave. But at this point, I don't need it, and this is where a decent amount of my weight is coming from. Especially all these fleece mittens. Okay, let me make sure I didn't drop anything there. Nope. Okay. I do have a ton of food weight already. And a decent amount of tool weight, which is surprising. I'm so glad the shortwave doesn't weigh anything. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that? That's so freaking great. Okay, so why is the reclaimed wood? Interesting that it's in both tabs. Let's go ahead and drop that. And I think the scrap metal I will also drop out by the tower. And we're going to try and make our way back.
All I can think about is food.
Okay. That's better. I'll keep my head on a swivel just to make sure I don't get jumped. No jumping me. Increased wolf population. Yeah, there's more to explore here, but now I need to get inside and I need to rest. Definitely some wolves nearby, kind of in that general direction. Can't see them, but I can hear them. I think I heard another one just now, right beneath the wind. Okay. Let's take a moment to take another look around. Definitely warm enough now. I'm curious if there's a temperature difference when you step into the basement. There should be. Wow, but there really isn't. Okay. Okay, here we go. So I could light a fire right now. I don't really think it's necessary. Okay. Can I get away with repairing that aviator cap? No, I can't because I don't have cured leather. Rough. I can, however, repair these cargo pants, so let's do that.
Oh, rest suit. I'm gonna faint.
You are gonna rest soon, in fact. Alright. Repairing those has just put me in a much better place, condition-wise. And now I can rest for a good amount of the night as well. No complaints there. God, I'm so encumbered. It's really not that bad, though. It's really not. I missed my technical backpack already. There, I said it. I said it. Okay, I had to let it out. It hit me as soon as I saw my encumbrance limit. And I had to say something. Okay. Where's the bed? There it is, right in front of me. So I can sleep now for a good while, but that's also going to chew through most of my calories. So tell you what, hang on. Let's go ahead and eat some more things that are getting pretty low in condition anyway. That's another thing. I don't have cooking 5 anymore, so I can't just eat things that are spoiled, unfortunately. That would be nice. Okay. So let's go to sleep for about 11 hours. Oh. There's that rapid aurora. We literally have one during our first night. That's a rare thing. Okay. Should have drank a little bit more. But tell you what, let's go ahead and drink some sodas, since I have so many of them. That's how you know that you're in a better position, loot-wise, than you've been playing in. When you can look in your inventory and just see that many sodas after 40 minutes of gameplay. It's insane. Okay, I'm going to eat the dog food as well, frankly, just because it's heavy. It's not the heaviest, but I don't need to be lugging it around. Okay. Exhale. It's the beginning of a day. I've recovered most of my condition. I have a decent amount of matches. I don't have... There are still some places in here that I need to explore. Yeah, let's go ahead and just light one match. Just to get out of here. I'm going to grab the mountaineering rope and take it with me. Should be able to make it up. Okay, yeah, I can see the light here. Hang on. What am I looking at? There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. It's kind of dark. I would imagine YouTube compression is not being too kind right now. So let me take a quick inventory. I suppose one thing I could do. It's past time for now. That's not much better. That is not much better at all. Past time for another hour. Thank you. That is acceptable. Okay. I need to just quickly look around and really confirm that I've fully explored these areas, because my God, when I first went through half of these rooms, the first and even the second time as I came in here, I was in a full-fledged panic, realizing that my frostbite risk and hypothermia risk were already out of control. So I'm just making sure I didn't overlook anything super obvious, even though I know that I was pretty thorough in making sure I checked everywhere because I had to. It's a good time to double back and look in corners and see what I might have missed. But again, to kind of go back to what I was saying earlier, and something that I will probably need to remind myself of a good bit in this series, especially early on, it's going to be important for me to remember that I actually don't have to go everywhere and find everything, loot-wise. But what I can do is I can go everywhere and find everything location-wise. I could look for example, prepper caches. I could scour zones for them in this series with a lot more confidence, especially once I had some of the better clothing items. I really could. And I'm tempted to do that. I could look for recipes. I could fish. There's so much that I have access to now that I'm not going to be constantly trying to keep my health up. The beginning of the series is still going to be, well, like this episode has been. Absolutely. I don't have a doubt in my mind. But I think the upward curve is going to set in a lot faster. Now, I recall that I didn't actually get water from this toilet. So it's going to weigh me down a bit. And I might, again, inventory management. I might do some inventory management before I leave the hangar here. Okay. I know I've been in this room enough times. I'm confident there. Okay. So there's the other side. There's also this cloth here. Yeah, that's 4 cloth. Let's go ahead and rip that up. Because there's still some repair that I could do, particularly on these 2 toques. Let me go ahead and repair that one. Just kidding. Let's fail. Just kidding. Let's fail horribly. Okay. Repair these socks. Much better. 97%. Okay. Still have some clothing slots that are not filled, which is problematic. Nice. Let's go ahead and drink that. Okay. I'm going to peek into the rooms on this side, because these are the ones that I'm a little bit less confident in terms of my having explored. I know I've been in here. There's a book. I know I've been inside them, but in terms of like really looking to see if I missed anything laying on the desks, missed anything underneath containers. Right now, even though I know that I'm not going to have to find all the loots at all times, finding everything that this zone has to offer me before I leave actually matters a lot. Okay, I know I've been in here too. Stained paper. To say for certain what security will be like out here. Told the boss a single exit point at the current airstrip would never satisfy our usual standard for evac. Nowhere else in the world would we set him up for a risk like this, but his eyes are open and so are mine. The build has the green light. That's another thing. We can pause and appreciate lore more. I do what I can when I'm playing the Long Dark, even on higher difficulty, to always, like, pause and appreciate lore. But the fact is, well, you just can't always get to it. Okay. Not on higher difficulty anyway. Alright, so I'm going to drop the mountaineering rope up here. I'm going to drop the fire log as well. I'm even tempted to drop most of this coal. Come back for it later. Let's drop... I'm not going to need those papers at the moment. I'm going to have plenty of tinder when I start picking my favorite vegetable. I mean, need I say more? Regulars on this channel know me well. Once I start seeing them, there will be no stopping me. There are slightly more of them on this code than we've seen in the past. But still less than you would see on a typical run. Okay. Lovely noontime weather here in Forsaken Airfield. We're approaching the end of this first episode and premiere, but there are a few more vehicles nearby that I would like to check. At the very least. Before I call it a day here. So let's take a peek in here. And like I said, I'll probably go visit... Another pair of fleece mittens. Wow! This is the game just... You know how I've said that the game has ears? This is the game just going, oh, so you want to turn down the difficulty, Hadrian? Okay. Okay. Have some fleece mittens. Did those help you on your lower difficulty, Hadrian? Here, have some more. No, I'm good on fleece mittens game. I appreciate you very much. No, Hadrian. I think you need more fleece mittens. What the hell, man? Wow. Yes, I was just leaning away from the mic so as not to break your ears. This is fantastic. I don't think even in a game of Voyager I've ever just randomly found this many pairs of fleece mittens in an hour of gameplay. Ever. I don't think that's a thing that's happened. Honestly. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to step inside here. Now this is of course not going to give me a save point, but you know what will? An hour of sleep. So we're closing in, at least on this recording for me, we're closing in on the 55-minute mark. It's longer for the whole episode, I know, because you had an intro stem at the beginning to watch. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up here. We've survived for a day, 6 hours and 8 minutes. So in a couple days, probably by the end of the next episode, honestly, we will have the well-fed benefit, and we'll be able to walk around a little bit more easily. Looks like the weather is starting to turn a little bit spicy outside. But I think one of the things I'm going to be thinking about next episode is, as soon as I can make it out to that cabin, I'm going to do so because I already have, I think, enough gear to justify like beginning to make my way toward Broken Railroad and into Great Bear proper. And why is the snow flickering? Is it just an effect of that window? Yeah, that's what it is. Sorry. I just had to open this door so the snowflakes wouldn't flicker strangely and break my immersion. And yours, for that matter. But yeah, I think that'll be the next plan. And, you know, there are other locations, I might decide to visit here in the Far Territory, but I already kind of have what I need to get out of here. And I'm itching to explore not only the Signal Void quest, which we were just starting at the end of Season 7, but I'm just excited to explore more of the world in terms of the things that I mentioned earlier. Not just potential... I know that's probably a rabbit, but I'm going to close the door anyway. In terms of potential like prepper caches, yeah, there's the rabbit right there. And also, you know what? It's not even about finding new things or exploring new mechanics or getting used to new systems without the pressure of the high difficulty. It's not even about that. It's about what I said at the beginning. This is a gorgeous game, and I want to explore the world in a relaxing way that kind of gets back to the roots of what made so many of us fall in love with it so long ago. And, you know, I say so long ago, but here we still are, still playing it because it's the Long Dark. And we just can't stop ourselves, can we? Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If you're not new here, look for the join button to get access to channel unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes drop every day but Wednesday at 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome, so leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time.